Hello, Periscopers. It is Dr. Shante. I'm going to give it a second for you guys to get in this scope for the morning. I am so encouraged beyond belief. Hi, Decretia. How are you? Let me turn this camera around so you guys can actually see me. Hey, how you guys doing? Um, I am doing well. I actually cried myself to sleep last night. Happy, happy tears over Viola Davis's win. And so that is going to be my first scope of the week. Not because she's my favorite actor, which she is, but there were so many powerful lessons to be learned from what she did last night. And I have to share them this morning because I don't want the moment, I don't want the sentiment to be lost on you. I want you to understand why it's a big deal. So for those of you joining, I see a lot of you popping in. Please say hello. I'm Dr. Shante. I'm the host of Branding for Believers podcast, where I encourage influencers with the confidence and the tools to believe bigger. Hey, Terry, how are you doing? Happy Monday. So let me, I'm going to turn the camera back around because I want you to see the acceptance speech. You know, you may have seen it, but it's literally, it's 2 minutes. But once we see that, then I want to talk about what was really impactful about it. So here we go. I'm going to turn it back around so that you can see this speech. Hey, Gina, how are you doing? Hello, Abuse Intervention. How are you doing? Okay, let's go. Okay.
Goes to Viola Davis, How to Get Away with Murder.
This is the first Emmy win and nomination for Viola Davis, who is a graduate of Juilliard.
In my mind, I see a line. And over that line, I see green fields and lovely flowers and beautiful white women with their arms stretched out to me over that line. But I can't seem to get there no how. I can't seem to get over that line. That was Harriet Tubman in the 1800s. And let me tell you something. The only thing that separates women of color from anyone else is opportunity. You cannot win an Emmy for roles that are simply not there. So here's to all the writers, the awesome people that are Ben Sherwood, Paul Lee, Peter Nowak, Shonda Rhimes, people who have redefined what it means to be beautiful, to be sexy, to be a leading woman, to be black. And to the Taraji P. Hensons, the Kerry Washingtons, the Halle Berrys, the Nicole Beharies, the Megan Goods, to Gabrielle Union, thank you for taking us over that line. Thank you for the Television Academy.
When I tell you, I watched that so many times, and this is probably the first time that I can watch it without just being completely emotional about it, because let me just give you the breakdown about what just happened in that clip. First of all, give some hearts to Viola Davis because she did that. Viola, honey, if you ever see this, these hearts are for you because that was such a class act. The first thing that I want to say about the Viola Davis effect is that did you see the way that Taraji Henson, who was nominated in that same category, hopped up with a sister girl, yes, with a hug, with sincere, authentic, genuine congratulations. Now, I'm sure, other actresses in that category may have been disappointed, but Taraji said, it's not about me. So often I tell my clients and my listeners, it's not about you. It's not about you. When you have a platform, you are helping other people to believe bigger. And so the fact that it happened for Viola, Taraji said, you know what, then that means it could happen for me. And for those of you who didn't know, this is the first Black woman in the history of the Emmys to win the Best Actress category for drama. And the Emmys have been around for decades. Women supporting one another is a beautiful thing. So I want to tell you the very first thing about the Viola effect. Cheers for another woman. Cheer for another woman's success. It's okay. It's okay to be a one-woman standing ovation because another girl, another sister girl made it over the hump. Don't say, oh, well, that could have been my moment in history. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. You stand up and you be a one-woman cheering section for somebody else's success. The second thing that I want to talk about is she talks about this line. She says, and I just can't get over that line. I just can't seem to get over it. No how. And thank you, Terry. You do cheer for me. And yes, and that's right, Takrisha. Don't just cheer for your inner circle. Cheer for people who are not in your inner circle, because that actually goes to point number 2. I will tell you this, it is painful to get overlooked for opportunities because you're not in the right clique, or you don't have the right connections, or you don't have enough clout with such and such. But let me tell you something. When it's your time, when it is your time, when it is your moment to reap the abundance, when it is your moment to be blessed, when I tell you, when God gets ready to bless you, I don't care who said no. I don't care who closed the door. I don't care how many times the door got slammed in your face. I don't care who told you that you was never going to be and that you was pipe dreaming. When God gets ready to bless you, when I tell you that there is nothing and no one, nobody can do anything about it. Nobody can do one thing about it. And if you don't know God like I know God, you just keep on living and you try him. When God gets ready to bless you, trust and believe that it will be your time. So don't worry about the opportunities that you got passed over for. Don't you get discouraged. The Bible says, do not get weary in well doing. Do not get weary, not get sidetracked and discouraged. You keep doing excellent work and you become too good to deny. The third thing that I want to bring out about the Viola Davis effect is sometimes you have to create the role that you want to play in your life. Sometimes we stand on the sidelines waiting for somebody to give us our awards, waiting for somebody to give us a handout, waiting for somebody to reach over and pull us over the line. But no, ma'am, sometimes you have to create the role that you want to play in the narrative of your life. If you want to be a sister that encourages, then you encourage. If you want to be somebody that wraps your arms around communities and builds them up, then you be that person. Just because nobody formally sanctioned you to do that, you don't need a formal sanction. You just need a willing heart and hands that work. So whatever you purpose yourself to do, you get out there and you get exactly what you want. Hey, Jonathan Hood, how are you doing? You don't have to wait for somebody to hand you a role. You create the role that you want for your life. Number 4. The Shonda Rhimes effect. Let me tell you something. When you get to a place of influence, and you know how influential media can be, when you get to a place of influence, don't you dare get there and close the door and act like you don't have other women waiting on the other side. Yes, you were fortunate to get in. Yes, you were fortunate to get through. But do you know how many people get into places of influence and say, well, I got mine. You better get yours. I worked hard. Hey, I hustled. Did nobody hand me anything? So what I look like, you better work for yours. When you get to a place of influence, when you get to a place where you can put other sisters, other brothers on display in a way that empowers and encourages and dispels these damaging Real Housewife type stereotypes, don't you close that door and act like you don't have other talented women waiting on the other side. That's the Shonda Rhimes effect, because I'm telling you, your gift will make room for you, and when you make room for other people, I promise you, you will reap the blessing in that. And the fifth and the final thing that I want to say is this. Now, Viola Davis, Everything you stand for and are about. I love you too, Jazzy. I thank you so much. You know what she did? That was her moment. That was her moment. This was a historic moment. She was the first. She made history. And what did she do? She acknowledged other women in her field, in her category. Let me tell you something, brothers and sisters. Acknowledging somebody else that is doing excellent work does not diminish your shine. Just because you give somebody else a shout out, that doesn't take anything away from you. She could have very well said me and my and I, but no, she called them out by name. She said, you know what, sister girl, I appreciate what you do. You know what? I see you on a worldwide stage. Giving somebody else some credit does not take away from your shine. That's right, Jonathan. You lift as you climb. And so often as entrepreneurs, we don't want to give shouts out to, other women in our category, or other people in our field because, well, I don't want them looking at Sally Sue, because if she start looking at Sally Sue, then that might take away a client from me. See, you're operating from a mindset of scarcity instead of operating from a mindset of abundance. When you operate from a mindset of lack and scarcity, that means that you're trying to hoard and you trying to stand in the corner with your crumbs, and you so intimidated, you so scared, you don't know if the opportunity will ever come again, that you don't want to share it with anybody. And I'm gonna tell you something, that's how you stunt your growth. That's how you stunt growth. That's not how you grow. That's how you stunt growth. So if you're looking for a bona fide, certified way to make sure that your success trajectory is shortened and cut down, keep your blessings to yourself and watch what happens to you, because it's not about you. Just because you give another sister a shout out does not mean that you won't grow. We have to stop being so scared to share and grow. I completely agree. So that is the Viola Davis effect. It was just a wonderful moment for history. It was a wonderful moment for all of us, and just so many powerful lessons to be learned. I understand that, as African Americans, sometimes the opportunities are not there, but, I can't put any stock in that, because everything that I have, man did not give to me. Everything that I have, my steps are ordered by God. Everything that I have, everything that I am, everything that I have survived, everything that He has taken me through has been divinely ordered. And that means that wherever my next chapter is, wherever that next platform is, He is going to take me there. And as if I am bringing other women along the way, then all the better. To God be the glory. Be a truth speaker. Oh, thank you. That's why you follow me. She used that platform to put the world on notice. And I hope that we can learn from that. So stop the backbiting, the hating, the throwing shade. No, ma'am, there's no room for that. She set a standard, and I think it's one that we all should follow. So you guys enjoy the rest of your day. I appreciate you so. And make sure you check me out on Instagram and on Twitter to find out what the next lineup is going to be for this week on Periscope. I'm Dr. Shante, and I'll see you next time. Mwah.